I've been involved in law enforcement for 33 years before I joined the National Crime Agency. A lot of that time has been spent dealing with child protection cases, and so there has to be a multi-agency response, because sometimes you only know little bits of the picture. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. So each individual piece of jigsaw doesn't really mean anything on its own. It doesn't build a picture. And each individual piece of jigsaw is a piece of information that, when they're joined together, form a picture and form what you might be able to investigate. And so from dealing with all the various agencies that come into contact with children, then that can form the investigation process and all the information comes to light. When you're dealing with unaccompanied children or children that are with adults and the relationship isn't clear, the international framework comes into place then. And so not only are you looking at the agencies within your own country, but then within the National Crime Agency, we might be looking more widely through Europol and through partners overseas, through our international liaison officers who are placed in various countries, and to try to build on that tapestry that I've just described. And so the jigsaw puzzle that's made that picture suddenly has an international context, and all the information then can be brought into one place through many different sorts of ways. We join up working in investigations, and I mean across Europe through Europol. It's quite possible to form a joint investigation team where other police forces are working with each other. So the more the migration is taking place, hopefully the more it's recognised and made more easily for people to work together. Now the police have a network where that's quite possible. The thing that I kind of find a little more challenging is if the awareness now is more that social workers can pick up from an international child that there may be a problem, that somebody in say the UK has come in on their own, that they're vulnerable, and be speaking to that child, it might well be that something arises that gives that social worker the feeling there's a little bit more to this, I need to know more. And they need to make that inquiry overseas. Now there are processes that can be done through embassies, but it's not necessarily a fast process. So for me to make a quick inquiry, that's quite possible. But for a social worker to make an inquiry that quickly is sometimes much more awkward. The result of that inquiry might turn a safeguarding, low-level problem suddenly into a big child protection issue because of that information that came from overseas. So I think that can be improved upon, and that would be as part of working together to make sure that that's done.